The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
The Badger Hockey Digest, presented by Charter Communications.
Hi, welcome to the Badger Hockey Digest, brought to you by Charter. I'm the radio play-by-play voice of Wisconsin hockey, Brian Posick, with head coach Mike Eaves. Wisconsin enjoyed a good trip to Chicago on Sunday for the Hockey City Classic outside at Soldier Field. More than 52,000 fans paid to watch the outdoor doubleheader. Notre Dame beat Miami and Wisconsin beat Minnesota. And on the bench for the Badgers game, head coach Mike Eaves wore a flat cap and a leather jacket. Boy, you look sharp.
I believe that's called a newsboy hat.
A newsboy hat.
A newsboy hat. That's what I was told. So actually, the entire staff had a newsboy hat on. So it was. We had a little fun with that, Brian. It was a great event. I think the kids really had fun with the practice on Saturday, and then the game on Sunday. It's always more fun when you win, of course, but just the atmosphere out there and playing outside was really. You know, each one is, this is our third one, each one is unique, but they're all fun.
And it's fun to win, too, isn't it?
No question. I think it enhances the whole experience, and especially beating our rivals from Minnesota, it makes it extra special.
Yeah. Your club got off to, I guess, a slow start if you want to look at the shots on goal in the first period, but the second period you played pretty strongly, and actually you rung the post 2 or 3 times, too. You could have scored more than the 3 goals you did.
Yeah, the feedback that we got from some people watching the game said it could have been 5-0 after 2 periods, and that was an explosion for us, getting 3 goals in 1 period, but it was, in the game conditions like that, getting a lead is really important because the ice wasn't great. You're playing outside, and to play catch-up and trying to score when the ice and the conditions are like that makes it even more difficult. So getting a lead was truly a big factor in the game.
Yeah, and the game plan was, keeping it simple and getting pucks on net, and that's what paid off.
I mean, that's how the goals were scored. It was throwing pucks in net and getting rebounds and hitting shin pads and going in, and we executed that very well in the second period.
Yeah, a number of players I thought played extremely well. Brendan Woods had a couple of assists on Sunday afternoon. He was a young man that you moved up on the line chart, and boy, he paid off, didn't he?
And thinking about Brendan's game, he kind of was like that 6th guy off the bench in basketball. Yeah. He stepped off another line into, a higher line, if you will, in the game plan, and contributed his energy and contributed. He hit the crossbar, and he got a couple of assists. So he did a nice job. And as a matter of fact, I was thinking about it last night that we might have to use that term, talk about that 6 forward that comes off a lower line and comes up and helps.
Yep. Kevin Scholl scored the first goal for the Badgers. John Ramage, the second, went off a shin pad of a defenseman. And then Sean Little with a rebound goal. You know you're going to get that grittiness from Sean Little, and he battled his way for that puck.
Well, that whole line, that was their kind of game. They're not a pretty line. They're going to get pucks in. They're going to go to work. They played with great energy, and watching the game last night, breaking it down, they were one of our most consistent lines with hits in contact and getting the puck in and going to work, and that's their kind of game. On a sheet of ice that big and with the conditions they did a nice job for us.
And the number 1 star on our broadcast was Joel Rumpel, who made 36 saves, coming off 40 saves on Friday night against the Gophers. He was very sharp.
He was very good. It's interesting. I got a note from a lady who has a 5-year-old daughter, and she honed in right on Rumps because of his hat that he had on top of his mask, and she was referring to Rumps as cupcake because it looked like a cupcake with the cherry on top of it. So I haven't told Rumps this yet, so I'll have to tell him to watch this broadcast so you can see that. But he was very good, and he had to make a big save at the last tenths of a second of the game. So when you're going to win, your goaltender needs one of your best players, and he was that for us.
Yeah, Callie LaPointe, by the way, knitted that hat for all the goaltenders. She's the wife of Nate LaPointe, Wisconsin's equipment manager. Here's a dumb question. How big was that win on Sunday?
Well, it was big for many reasons, in the fact that it kept us right in the race to get home ice or even higher. And in terms of the RPI, beating the number 2 team in the country. So You know, we talk about every game being the most important game of the year. That was a real important game again because of all those factors.
Yep. The Badgers back home for a Sunday night, Monday night series against future Big Ten Hockey Conference foe Penn State. We'll talk more about that coming up after this from Charter.
Who needs this modern world? I can live just fine out here without the road rage and boy bands. Of course, I might miss my Charter HD with football on ESPN and Walking Dead on AMC. Just ESPN, AMC, Shark Week on Discovery HD, and Comedy Central HD. But that's it. Except for HBO HD.
Charter now has over 100 HD channels and more brilliant HD shows on demand than ever. Get Charter HD for only $29.99 a month when you bundle.
The Wisconsin Badgers back at the Kohl Center for a two-game series Sunday night and Monday night against the Penn State Nittany Lions. They're in their first year of Division I hockey, playing as an independent before the Big Ten Hockey Conference begins next year. Mike, it is this Sunday night, Monday night series. I know when fans got their season tickets or looked at the schedule, they're thinking, what's this about? But we might be seeing a little bit more of this when the Big Ten Hockey Conference comes around.
Just a little bit. I know the Big Ten Hockey Conference, they're talking about trying to find a night that you can go on the Big Ten and have it be a college hockey night, and one of the thoughts would be a Monday. So it's a little bit of an experiment to see how the response is from a television audience. So we're giving it a try, and it is a little bit shock to our fans. But you know, it's the first year of the Nittany Lions, as you were just mentioning, and it's going to be an interesting series.
Yeah, you get some extra time to practice too. Is that a good thing at this time of the year?
No, actually, we're trying to be real smart this week. This time of the year, the boys had Monday off because of NCAA rules, but we're going to practice on Tuesday today, and then we're going to actually give the boys another day off on Wednesday. This time of year, it's tough to put many days of practice. So if we practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're not going to accomplish. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to go backwards. So we're going to have some individual meetings on Monday and leave Monday off from the ice, and then we'll go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, play Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, I would think the guys have a little extra juice after what transpired in Chicago on Sunday.
I would think so. I would think so, and we've got to kind of keep that juice contained because of the fact that Penn State comes in here, and we need to get 2 wins, and that's our focus. You know, sometimes guys will look ahead, as we've talked about with other series, and we need to keep our focus and be 1-0 on the Sunday and 1-0 on Monday. Those are 2 big victories that we need to put in our barn.
Yeah, in its first season as a Division I program, Penn State is 12-13, 10-11 against other Division I programs. The Nittany Lions have beaten Michigan State. Yep. They've beaten Ohio State. They've beaten Vermont. They've beaten RIT. This is a team that'll be tough to handle.
Guy Godowski is a very qualified coach. He was at Princeton and did a great job there.
Alaska prior to that, rebuilt that program
so
too.
He knows how to coach the games. Again, what he's going to have his team do is they're going to play hard and they're going to play together. And if you do those 2 things, you have a chance to win hockey games. And obviously, they've done that this year against Division I. So they're going to come in here and they're going to be excited. They're coming in here. Jake Gardner's brother Max is on the team. He knows what this is about. He'll share that experience, what a cool is to play. And it's going to be a feather in the cap. If they can come in here and knock us off, that gives them more credibility. So that's something that we have to be prepared for and ready for, and we need those wins.
Yep. Max Gardner, by the way, had 3 assists in Penn State's win over Michigan State 3-2 at the end of January. He's a former Gopher, and as Mike mentioned, the brother of former Badger Jake Gardner. Wisconsin and Penn State Sunday night. That's a 7 o'clock face-off, 6:30 pregame on the Badger Sports Network. You can also watch it on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Monday night's game will start at 7:30, and the Big Ten Network will televise that one. Hope we'll see you at the rink as well. For Badgers coach Mike Eaves, I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.